welcome back to my channel, and especially welcome if you are new. My name is Carmen Elaine, we haven't yet met, and I thought that as we are quite close to the start of 2018, it might be fun to do a goal setting video because I have been thinking about this quite a lot since I posted a video last year on goal setting and minimalism, where I basically talked about how I kind of decluttered the concept of goals. And ever since then, I've been thinking about it quite a lot and writing about it quite a lot. And I feel like I've put together some form of potentially helpful list that I thought I would share with you. Tip number one is stop calling them goals. The word goals is very much like I hope to or I wish to, or in a perfect world I'd like to, ... It's this kind of idea of like, there's sort of, you've got a bit of wiggle room with the word goals. Instead, call them decisions or plans. So I have decided to ... or I plan to ... This makes it a lot more concrete and makes it seem more inevitable that it will happen. There are two types of goals. There are deadline appropriate goals and non-deadline appropriate goals. And it's very important when doing goal setting to actually work out which one is which. The way to tell them apart is to ask yourself, will it ever actually be done? So will it ever be finished and completely complete? Or if you stop working on it, will the results change? So for example, preparing for an exam is deadline appropriate because once that exam is done, it's done and nothing can be done to change that. Releasing an album is deadline appropriate because no matter what you do after it's been released, it has been released and that, it's in a state of having been released. But things like keeping fit or keeping healthy are not deadline appropriate because they require maintenance. Even if you get yourself to a point where you consider yourself to be fit, if you stop working on your fitness, then you will no longer be fit. So for these kind of goals, deadline setting is absolutely pointless and it's going to do more harm than good. And I know that a lot of goal setting advice tells you that you should be setting deadlines, but these are my problems with setting deadlines for goals. It makes time your enemy. So with setting deadlines, it's you versus the clock. It's trying to achieve as much as you can in as short amount of space as you can. Time, though technically a man-made concept, is in our minds very intertwined with mortality. The two together are a little bit scary, and certainly for me, it made me feel like I never had enough time, and that led to quite a lot of anxiety and stress with regards to setting goals. You can also forget to be grateful. So one of the things with goal setting is you are so preoccupied with the future that you may forget to properly acknowledge what is currently around you. So if you have this idea of, I'll be happy when, or when I have this, or when I earn this much, or when I'm doing this job, or, if you are placing your happiness, if it's conditional on something that is yet to happen, then you're not living in the moment, you're not fully embracing everything that is around you. The thing is, success and happiness do not happen in the future, they happen now. There are things we can do about it right now. Stress is not healthy, so I used to think that I needed stress to work and that it was kind of my fuel, and this led to some quite unhealthy thought patterns. I used to almost deliberately think quite unkind thoughts about myself, thinking that I was encouraging myself or like spurring me on, but it was really quite, devastating for self-esteem. Giving our goals deadlines suggests that the future is a destination and now is merely our journey towards it. Not only does this undervalue the current moment, but it implies that, one day we will be happy and one day all of it's akin to like waiting to win the lottery or waiting to be saved by your fairy godmother. So don't give yourself a deadline unless you absolutely have to or unless someone has given it to you. They can be quite useful when it comes to working with other people. But if it's a personal goal, then there is absolutely no point. The secret to achieving goals is, of course, daily habits. So break down what you want to happen into its component parts. So say, for example, if you wanted to learn a language, then you would have to spend a small amount of time every single day studying. And don't undervalue the odd 10 minutes here and there because 10 minutes a day adds up over the course of a year. If it's something that you're likely to forget because you get carried away with your day, then set an alarm on your phone or pin the habit onto a task that you already do. So for example, you might choose to do some revision after you have your dinner because you already have your dinner every single day. Maybe after you brush your teeth in the morning, you will do a short 10-minute workout. Achieving your goals is all about consistency and hard work. For deadline appropriate goals, figure out exactly what finished is going to look like. So for example, if you were writing an essay, then you might say maybe it's when you reach the word count, or maybe when you've made a certain amount of valid points, or you've got a certain amount of marks. The thing with things like essays and creative projects is that there's always room for improvement. So it's very difficult to exactly know when you're going to be finished, when you think it's good enough. So decide before you actually start. Then when you reach that point, you're going to know that you're there. For non-deadline appropriate goals, it's all about direction. So deciding on the direction that you're moving in. And the results will come as a byproduct of the habit. And this is just so much better than choosing deadlines. And the main reason, well, reason number one is that time is now your friend. So rather than it being a case of, you know, say another birthday rolls around and you're thinking, oh God, I'm still, you know, not where I want to be, or, you know, rather than having these negative thoughts. I mean, certainly for me, I feel, you know, because every single day I am doing something to get closer to where I want to be. I now know that in a year's time, I'm going to be a year better, or a year stronger, or a year further on in my project. It means that I'm excited about the future rather than dreading it. And that has been, in terms of stress and anxiety, it's been one of the best things, one of the best sort of mental changes that I've had. And also we are able to enjoy the journey more when we don't set deadlines. So rather than being stressed out and focusing on the future and what we wish we were and, you know, what we lack now, we can be more grateful for the things that we do have and for who we are right now. And our results will keep the journey exciting, because as we maintain our daily habits and as we keep committed and keep working hard, we will notice things. We'll notice that when maybe we're enjoying work more, maybe, you know, we're fitter or we're stronger, our physique changes, maybe people are enjoying our work more, maybe we're noticing that we're getting better feedback, or that we're getting through projects quicker, or we're getting better at that language. The results follow the daily habits. The thing to remember is that your daily habits steer your life, so they dictate the actual direction that you're moving in. And focusing on the direction that you're moving in rather than the point that you'd like to be at makes it a lot more of a rewarding and, well, enjoyable journey, really. My fifth point is to decide what does and doesn't work for you. So this has been a very important one for me, because I really like procrastinating, and I found that for me, doing things like sort of future boards and keeping journals and all these kind of things, it felt like I was delaying the bit where you actually work hard, the bit where the results actually happen. I was so, because I love it, I love feeling productive even when I'm not necessarily being productive. And I found that that was what a lot of these things that I was advised to do are. And these could completely work for you and they could work for different people, but for me, some of them definitely didn't work. And it took me a few months to realize that I was just delaying the sort of the painful bit, the bit where you actually have to get stuff done. Thing is, right now, I'm at a point where, and there will be days where I really don't feel like doing anything, or, you know, some days I'm just not feeling it. But most of the time, for me, work has become my norm. So I really enjoy spending my time doing that, because I really like sort of the results that I get. Take a mental snapshot of how you feel when you've got something done. So let's say, you know, after you've had a workout, or after you've just completed a project, or when you experience something that makes you feel really, really good, just sort of spend a moment just really focusing on that feeling, so that when you are at a point where, you know, you can't be bothered to do any work, you can't be bothered to go to the gym, you can focus on that feeling and think, well, actually, because that's the reward that I'm going to be getting. That's the short-term reward. I'm going to get those endorphins, or I'm going to get that, you know, that feel proud of myself for having done that thing. I do this in reverse as well. For, say, if I feel like eating an entire cake, I will think back to the last time that I ate an entire cake and just try and remember when I took a mental snapshot then of how rubbish I felt, because one isn't meant to eat an entire cake. So then I think, maybe I'll just have a bit of cake instead of the full cake, because I know what happens when I have the entire cake. Point number 7 is really, really important, and it is keep your inner monologue kind. So I have touched upon this before, but it's really, really important to be nice to yourself. And if you do happen to slip up, or if you don't maintain your daily habits or your weekly habits as frequently as you like, or if you miss a day, you miss a week, you miss a month, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Just get back on it, keep on moving in the direction, but don't sacrifice a relationship with yourself. If you're trying your best, then you have no reason to be unhappy with how you're doing. And my last point is, I guess, just what now? What do you do now? Well, my advice would be take a look at an average day in your life. And I know it's quite difficult to pinpoint an average day in your life, but try and think of one. So an average day, what does it look like for you? And then think, if you had a year's worth of that day, how much further on in the things that are important to you will you be? So what direction is your life currently pointing you in? Will you be fitter and stronger or healthier? Will you have saved a lot of money, or will your project be closer to being finished? Do you have children who will be older and feel more supported? If you're not completely happy with how this exercise unfolds, then do something right now to change it. Even if it's reading for 10 minutes or writing a short poem or putting on a song you like and doing some squats. Take action now. Now is here for you to use. Take action, work hard, and be kind to yourself. These are the takeaway points. And I don't want to pretend that I'm perfect at it either. You know, certainly the negative mindset thing is something I'm still definitely working on. But I find that I'm starting to really appreciate what I get out of what I put in. I know that changing my mindset with regards to goals has been massive in terms of me feeling happier and more content with what I have and who I am. So, you know, if it's possible for you to take any of what I've said on board, I highly recommend it, especially if you're someone who's quite similar to me. I understand that, you know, there's tons of different people, tons of different personalities, so none of what I say may resonate with you. But if any of it does, then it's definitely worth considering. Thank you so much for watching, and especially hello to my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining us here. So amazing having you on board. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please feel free to, and also to follow me on my Instagram. And I will see you in my next video. I hope you're having a lovely day. I'll see you later. Goodbye.